Let's have a serious conversation. A conversation about why Western men go broke in Southeast Asia. The 5 most common reasons why Western men lose money in Southeast Asia. The number 1 problem, and this is the biggest problem, which applies to men a lot more than it applies to Western women living in Southeast Asia. The problem that I'm talking about is that so many Western men that move to Southeast Asia or vacation in Southeast Asia become hunters. What do I mean by hunters? They become driven by the environment, by the sexual environment. They become driven by the fact that they see endless hot girls all over the place. Anywhere you go, you just leave your hotel, you leave your Airbnb, wherever you're staying, you leave that place, you come out to the roads and you see the most gorgeous girls you will see anywhere. It's a problem not only because they're gorgeous, but also because of what they wear. Tank tops, open back tops, and short skirts. Combination that's almost impossible to reject for the average guy. You know, I mean, you are out there, you're walking around, you're seeing all these women. It's an environment conducive to sexual pleasure. It's so easy to go out there, have a date every day. Why? Because there's more supply than there's demand. You know, a lot of these Asian women, whatever it's going to be, like 90+%, want to date Western men. Why? Because, you know, they're looking to date someone of higher quality. They're looking to date a guy that has deep pockets. They're looking to date a guy, you know, that's more handsome. They're looking to be with a guy, you know, that offers a brighter future. Whether they're going to get that brighter future or not is yet to be determined, and most of the time those women are not going to get it, especially if, you know, they make it very easy to sleep with them. And then there are also, of course, massages. You know, there are bars, there are nightclubs, you know, girly bars. I mean, there's so many options for a Western man to date. It's unbelievable. You know, yeah, you can go on Tinder, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are doing that or had been doing that. But still, you know, it is just an endless amount of options that you're confronted with that you just don't have in the West. You may have it in the West if you are like in the top, whatever, few percent of guys, but even then it usually requires a lot more work and a lot more money as well. The second biggest reason that I have seen is that foreigners fit in. When I mean they fit in, I mean that they adjust to the environment. It's the same as point number 1, but here we're talking about it from a much broader perspective. We're talking about everyday life, not just things that have to do with sexual pleasure. We're talking about, you know, what you eat. We're talking about socializing with other Westerners, you know, whether it's going to meetup groups, right? I mean, you have so much entertainment going on for such a low cost that it's very difficult not to get addicted to it. And I think that has ruined more Western men's profitability, their businesses, their income sources, whatever they do for a living. It has ruined more of it in that region than it had in any other region in the entire world, probably. Because even if you're in Africa, you know, life can also be pleasurable, but typically the things that are nice are a lot more expensive than they are in Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia is a great value deal. It has always been a great value deal, and I think certain countries will continue to be a great bang for the buck. And as a result of point number 1, point number 2, reason number 1, reason number 2, we come to reason 3. Problem number 3, which is that their work ethic deteriorates. That is really the result. You know, that's the logical consequence of all the things that they do on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, a weekly basis, that lead to really bad results in business. But then there's something added here too. If you take a look at the working hours, how different they are. You know, if you work online and you work with a company from North America, you know, maybe in Canada, maybe in the US, or even if you work with a company from Europe, you know, it's going to be a different time zone. You know, you're going to be maybe 6 hours ahead or 12 hours ahead, maybe even 14 hours ahead, 15 hours ahead. How do you adjust to that? You know, it does require a lot of discipline. It does require adaptability for a person to really say, you know what, I'm going to adjust to this no matter what, because my income is on the line and I don't want to lose it. But a lot of people, they work less. You know, they work less as a result. they make less money. Their work ethic also deteriorates because of the hot weather and humidity. There's a lot of proof for that all over the place. If you're in a place that's cool, if you're in a cold place, you're just going to have a lot better output. It doesn't mean you can't have a good output in Southeast Asia, because if we take a look at the civilization in Singapore and Hong Kong, they have great output. They had great output over the past couple of decades. And even if you live in a place like Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, you can still achieve great results on the internet. You can still make a lot of money, but you really need to have a tight schedule. You really need to be disciplined. And if it's very hot and you can't focus, and that's not just the place where you're living in, that's also about the outside environment. If you go out a lot and the humidity really drags you down, if the humidity really drags you down, it really steps on you, it makes you tired, you feel exhausted, then you're just not likely to produce as much as when you spend a good afternoon or morning outside in a cooler country and then came back and you feel really rejuvenated. That is a huge difference. It's a differentiating factor that a lot of Western men that move to Southeast Asia are not aware until they're already in the region, have formed the habit, and actually have no idea that they formed the habit, and as a result they keep doing it. Reason number 4 has to do with comfort. A lot of Western men that I've seen in Southeast Asia, what they do is they live off of unemployment payment that they're getting from a Western government. And there's a lot of people like that. They're not going to admittingly say that they live off the government, because it is kind of like, not a good thing to admit, because who wants to say that I'm living off the government? If you're a man and you should actually be working for yourself, earning for yourself, creating your income. Not a lot of people admit that, but there's a lot of people, especially or only from the Western Hemisphere. We're talking Western Europe, we're talking about North America, that come to Southeast Asia, that live off whatever, unemployment payment, whatever social benefits, whatever kind of government supported program they're on, they're going to use that, they're going to live with that money in the region because they can. It's affordable, and they simply have that option, so why not use it? But sooner than later, money runs out, the government closes the money tab, and when that happens, they are out of money, and they stand in Southeast Asia empty-handed, because they don't have any skills, they don't have any savings, they don't have any investments, they don't have any assets, they have no way of generating an income, and so a lot of them are just pushed out of the region and go back to where they originally came from. The last reason is that many Western men are unwilling to better themselves. They're unwilling to evolve. And what do I mean by evolve? Well, if you came from a Western country and you had a job there, you had a business there, you made good money there, well, that's the past. It's great that you did that. Be proud of yourself. Always take, recognition of your past accomplishments. But past accomplishments does not mean that you're going to have future accomplishments. Your main determining factor, whether you're going to have future accomplishments or not, is going to be your adaptability. Are you like water? Water adjusts depending on the environment it's in. It always finds a way, right? It adjusts. It's very flexible. It's very adaptable. So if you're like water, and we're talking about creating income in Southeast Asia, if you're innovative, if you find ideas on how you can capture the market, from within the country that you're living in, you can have a fantastic time. You can make a boatload of money, and you can really create a legacy worth talking about in the future. But unless you're willing to learn something new, unless you're willing to also take risk, because starting a business, doing anything related to entrepreneurship is going to require risk. You're not going to get there by being passive, by not taking risk, because there's a ton of people out there, even in Southeast Asia, even Westerners in Southeast Asia, who are willing to take that risk to get to the next level, because only risk takers, people who take well-calculated risk, are going to get to the next level, whereas people who are unwilling to do that, who stand on the sidelines, who are passive, they're just not going to get there. Why do Western men really go broke in Southeast Asia? And are there any other reasons that I forgot to mention in this video? If so, leave a comment below and let us know. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'm uploading new videos on digital nomad locations, travel updates, visas, crypto advice and business advice several times a week right now. I highly recommend that you grab a free copy of my ebook Nomad Elite, the Insider's Guide to Retaining a Life of Freedom. All you need to do is click on the link below the video. And if you got some more time left, check out these videos. Thank you for watching.